Digital Extremes, we need to have a chat. I was lucky enough to get a key to play Soulframe, and I think you guys need to have a conversation with Vaz.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting shit to change.
Playing Soulframe feels exactly like playing Warframe back in 2014. Nothing makes any sense. What are the differences between Courage, Spirit, and Grace? How do you get new weapons? How do you level up with... I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, so you can craft those new weapons. How do you access new pacts? Who the hell is this guy and what's his deal? I have no idea because nothing is properly explained. I want to like this game. I see the solid foundation DE built, but they covered the rest of the house in a giant Harry Potter invisibility cloak. How am I supposed to get into it if I can't find the fucking door? This is a very early version of the game, so maybe the full release will have a proper opening tutorial, but this is something Warframe still hasn't gotten right, and that game is 12 years old. Every time I try to get one of my friends into Warframe, I have to take them by the hand and slowly lead them through the game like how your mom led me to her bedroom last night until around Mastery Rank 10, at which point they start figuring things out on their own. If it weren't for YouTubers like iFlynn making incredibly detailed beginner's guides, Warframe probably wouldn't have 2/3 of its current player base, and that includes me. So far, Soulframe is shaping up to be the exact same way. Another way Soulframe is similar to Warframe in its early days is how mediocre it is. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate it, but if DE wants to build another long-term live service game like Warframe, mildly interesting isn't going to cut it. If your game is competing for attention with solitaire and stick whittling, you might want to go back to the drawing board. Let's start with the thing you'll be doing most of the time. The combat in Soulframe isn't bad, but in my experience, it flows like room temperature queso. Maybe I just don't understand how to play the game. Maybe I picked a bad starting class, or maybe the animations just suck. I don't really know, to be honest, because as I said earlier, nothing in this game makes any sense. I will say one thing in particular that bugs the piss out of me is that your character tends to soft lock onto the last enemy you hit, and you get no control over this. This is a problem because you're almost never fighting just one enemy, so you'll try to parry an attack, but your character puts his weapon up at the wrong angle so you get hit anyway. And sometimes you're trying to prioritize a specific enemy, but you accidentally hit the wrong one, and now you're soft locked onto that one. So it's now difficult to hit the enemy you actually want to. Whoever thought implementing a system like this in a game where you're constantly juggling multiple enemies was a good idea is a psychopath who jerks off with diesel fuel, and I refuse to believe otherwise. Having said all that, the combat in Soulframe isn't terrible. It's fine, but there's a lot of room for improvement. Another issue I have is with navigation and exploration. First of all, you should be able to fast travel to these world trees. I get that the devs were trying to encourage exploration, but there's only so many times I can go down on your mother before I have every crevice of that thing memorized. Yes, that is in fact 2 your mom jokes in one video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see me go for number 3. Anyway, back to Soulframe. Another thing that bugs me is how dungeons aren't marked. Again, I get that it's for the sake of exploration, but just have them permanently on the map once discovered so we don't have to memorize it, because those are something you'll be returning to often to farm resources. This one is a bit nitpicky, but the TAA implementation in this game is not great. It's very prone to ghosting, which is disappointing because Warframe doesn't have that problem, and these two games seem to be on the same engine and they both use TAA. But that's so far down on the list of shit that needs attention that it's sitting lower than a Mexican-owned Chevy S10. I have no doubt that Digital Extremes is capable of turning things around because I've seen them do it before. I was in the trenches back when Warframe had a stamina bar and no bullet jump. It was pretty awful back then. Nowadays, Warframe is the best free-to-play game in existence, and it's genuinely better than some fully priced games. Right now, playing Soulframe is about on par with getting a hand job in the bathroom from a chubby girl. It's better than nothing, but we all know you'd rather be getting sloppy toppy from her much more attractive sister. On the other hand though, Soulframe is still in the alpha stage, and it has a lot of potential to be something amazing. Like how sex with your mom could have been amazing if you hadn't absolutely wrecked her coochie with that big ass head of yours. And that's number 3, baby!